My very first career dream when I was a little child, I knew for sure that I wanted to be a writer. I learned to read and write, and I was immediately taken by it. I loved books, and I loved to write books and tell stories. My parents were immigrants from Poland, and we spoke Polish at home. And while they spoke English well, they sometimes needed help with writing. So from a very early age, my mom would enlist my help in writing thank you cards to her friends and neighbors. As I got older, my dad would sometimes have me write things for work for him. And I have always been very comfortable putting my thoughts into words in the written form. I loved to read books growing up, and I always pictured that I would someday have my name on the cover of a book, that I would be a published author, and I could walk into a bookstore and see a display on the shelf with Monica Chernick written all over it. When I think about what calling means, I think about what my father had in his work as a doctor. It was so deeply ingrained in his character and everything he did that there was never any doubt that he was in the right profession, and that was where he belonged and where he drew so much meaning in his life. Calling for me isn't quite so stable or so clear. It's more of something that has evolved. It's the question of, at this point in my life, am I doing work that matters to me and that matters to the people that I'm connected with? And the answer right now is yes. But my calling right now is different than it was 10 years ago, and it might be different than what it will be in 10 years. The question that I have to ask is, does this work matter right now? And am I using my gifts? Am I using my energy for something that matters? I am part of a corporate communications team at a large company. I am currently part of a social media team. And in my career, I spent 5 years as a trainer. I spent 5 years leading internal communications at a corporation, so internal being employee communications. And right now, I'm not quite sure where the next juncture will take me, but everything that I've done has been around a theme of communication, of teaching employees, and of technology. Within any company, there are people whose voices seldom get elevated. And I think of the people I serve are the bank tellers and the cubicle dwellers, and those of us who are doing the jobs that maybe we didn't think we were going to be doing this when we were little kids, but that work still matters and it's still very meaningful. I feel most successful when I'm able to tell a story or create an experience for employees that reminds them that this work is pretty important and what I'm doing matters. It has meaning. It's fun. I love creating a space with joy in it. Even if it's just a silly quiz that we put out on our employee intranet, if it makes someone smile and it makes their day go by a little bit faster, then I feel like I've added something of value. How do I contribute to the common good is something that I've struggled with before. That sometimes on my hard days, I feel like all I do is send email and talk on the phone and go to meetings. And I ask myself, have I really done anything? When I look at teachers and firefighters and doctors, and I see that there's people out there who are having this very concrete impact on others' lives, and I ask myself, did I really do anything that matters today? It sometimes is hard, but I also feel like it doesn't take long for me to see someone that reminds me that the calling I have is the work I'm doing right here. And sometimes it's about telling a story that needs to be heard. It's about imbuing our experience with meaning and connecting with someone on a very human level. Everybody comes to work wanting to do a good job, whether it's the career that they chose to have or not, whether it's a career where you're saving lives or a career where you're entering financial transactions. We all want to be good at what we do, and we want to feel like that work matters. And I think part of my role is to help people understand that their work does matter and to tell stories that remind them of why it's significant. I think that I find the most meaning in my work when I think about who the other people are that I work with. I always thought when I was growing up that success was this very individual thing, that it was about getting my name out there on a book, or it was about getting top marks in school, or being recognized and promoted. But that isn't where the meaning comes from. For me, I'm realizing that none of us are in this alone. And the most meaningful times in my career have been when we've recognized the shared humanity of the people that work at my corporation. Even in the different companies I've worked with, there have always been these common themes of we are human beings who show up, who want to do a good job, maybe to serve a customer, maybe it's to serve other people, but none of us are doing this alone. And our achievements as individuals don't matter nearly as much as what we can do for our fellow humans. And that is true everywhere, even in the corporate world.